You know, Twitter, it's this incredible platform that can literally move markets and start global movements with just a few characters. But here's the thing. For years, its massive cultural power has been completely disconnected from its, frankly, baffling performance as a business. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this strategic puzzle. We're going to unpack the story of one of the most influential and honestly perplexing companies on Earth. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's this huge disconnect. How can something so essential to how we talk to each other struggle so badly to figure itself out as a business? Well, the answer is a wild ride of missed chances, total strategic confusion, and in the end, a radical all-or-nothing gamble. And if you don't believe me, just look at the numbers. They tell a pretty brutal story. Between 2013 and 2022, Twitter's value grew by just 25%. And that exact same time, its main competitor, Meta, shot up by over 600%. That's not just falling behind, that's like you're running a marathon and the other guy is in a rocket ship. The business was just getting left in the dust.
Okay, so to really get the huge changes that are happening now, we've got to rewind the clock a bit. Because before the big acquisition, Twitter was just stuck. It was stuck in this era of confusion, defined by a glaring, and I mean fatal, lack of any real strategy.
So what even is a good strategy? Well, it's actually not that complicated. Most experts say it boils down to three key things. First up, you need a clear diagnosis. What's the actual problem we're facing? Next, you need a guiding policy. What's our overall game plan to tackle it? And finally, you need coherent actions. What are the specific, consistent things we're going to do? We're going to use this little checklist to pinpoint exactly where the old Twitter went so wrong. And right out of the gate, we hit the first problem. The diagnosis was just completely off. Twitter thought its challenge was to be a massive advertising platform. The only issue? It was trying to play a numbers game against monsters like Facebook, which had like 10 times more users. It was a fight it was never, ever going to win, and it made them blind to their real superpower, being the world's live public conversation. And then there was their official guiding policy. Get this. It was to have the largest audience in the world. But as any strategy expert will tell you, that's not a strategy. That's a wish. It's a statement of desire. It's like saying your plan to get rich is to have a lot of money. It gives you zero direction on how you're going to get there or what tough choices you need to make. So, what happens when your strategy is just a wish? Predictably, you get chaos. You get teams fighting each other, a company that can't make a hard decision, and a revolving door of leaders. I mean, 5 CEOs. The result was a company that just couldn't build good stuff consistently, which leads you right back to that chart we saw and being left in the dust by competitors. All right, so you've got this complete strategic vacuum, this total mess, and into that void steps Elon Musk. And he didn't just come to make a few tweaks. He came with a completely radical new playbook. And he backed it up with $44 billion. In the world of strategy, this is what you call a strategic commitment. It's a move so huge, so expensive, and so hard to undo that it sends a crystal clear signal to everyone. There is no going back. This is the new reality. And this table here just lays it out perfectly. It's a complete teardown. The diagnosis goes from we're bad at ads to there isn't enough free speech. The guiding policy goes from that vague wish for a big audience to a super clear vision of a digital town square. And the actions go from messy growth projects to a laser focus on subscriptions. It's a total gut renovation of the company's entire reason for being. So what's the big idea here? Why tear everything down? From a strategic point of view, it looks like a bold, maybe crazy, attempt to escape a classic business trap, something called the Red Queen effect. Now this comes from Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, where the Red Queen tells Alice that in her world, you must run as fast as you can just to stay in the same place. And that is a perfect description of so many industries. Everybody copies everybody else, and you're all just running yourselves ragged without ever getting ahead. That was pre-Musk's Twitter in a nutshell. So Musk's big gamble is an attempt to jump off that treadmill entirely. He's saying, let's stop trying to be a smaller, worse version of our rivals. Let's create a totally new space. A space built on the idea of free speech and a subscription model, not on ads. The whole thing, the entire $44 billion bet, comes down to one question. Will enough people actually pay for that? But trying to create a whole new space comes with enormous new problems. A strategy has to work for a bunch of different groups, your stakeholders. And Musk's new playbook basically puts all of their needs on a collision course. And this This is where the gamble gets really fascinating. So let's look at the key players in this high-stakes game. You've got your users, but they don't all want the same thing. You've got advertisers, you have employees, you have regulators breathing down your neck. For this new strategy to have any chance of success, it has to somehow juggle the completely opposing demands of all these groups. And the first huge conflict is right there with the users. The new strategy is a massive win for people who want absolute, unfettered free speech. But by going all in on that, you risk pushing away a whole other group of users who want a safe, moderated, respectful platform. You really can't have it both ways, and picking one side has gigantic consequences. And that choice immediately creates a massive headache for the company's old piggy bank, advertising. Advertisers want one thing above all else: brand safety. They want their ads next to predictable, stable content. A platform built on a free speech ethos where anything goes, to an advertiser, that's a 5-alarm fire, and it puts billions of dollars in revenue in serious jeopardy. So really, when you boil it all down, it's a very clear choice. The new strategy is betting everything on one group, the pro-free speech users. And in the process, it's telling advertisers and pro-moderation users that they are no longer the priority. It's an incredibly high-risk move that experts warn could lead to a mass exodus of both users and money, potentially causing the whole thing to collapse. Which leaves us right here with the ultimate cliffhanger. Is what we're watching a brilliant, once-in-a-generation strategic pivot that will create a totally new kind of company? Or is this going to end up in business school textbooks as a classic case study of strategic overreach, a gamble that just went one step too far? The craziest part is, nobody knows. The answer is being written right now in real time.